Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Aries Witchcraft. Yes, where we explore all kinds of neat occult topics. And today we are going to talk about signs, omens, or is it just my imagination? We're going to kind of discuss this in my point of view. I know that it can be slightly controversial and different practitioners have different opinions about this, but this is mine from my own experience. And a lot of newer practitioners struggle with these questions. So hopefully, from my own experience, I can give anyone with these questions a bit of insight that may help them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So, since the beginning of pagan civilizations, signs, omens, and divination was a phenomenon for mystery, secrets, messages, and warnings even. A omen is a message that usually comes unexpectedly, or as a surprise, and signifies prophetic events or choices, good or bad, about to happen. These are not every sighting that you're going to come across. Not only with animals, although animals are the most common, but many other phenomenons in nature. We're talking more about the bizarre or unnatural or impactful signs that you get, or run-ins with an animal or an anomaly or what have it be, because they can literally come in all kinds of forms. So you can't just classify it as just animals or birds or whatever, even though they are the most common. So I did want to put that out there. But some examples could be like bird flight patterns out of season, or odd behavior of an animal or insect, or perhaps you had a reaction when you came across something, you had chills, or just kind of an inner knowing that it impacted you, but you don't really know why. You can't put your finger on it, but you know it was important. You keep thinking about it. And in my experience, I would have certain reactions or feelings to my core as I would watch them. Ravens, for some reason, seems to be one of the biggest messengers for me, but it could be different for anybody. So animals can be a huge omen or sign, but not every sighting's one. Other examples of various forms outside of animals could be like trees blooming in winter. It's just an example, but to give some context on like the bizarre or weird behavior of nature communicating with you, or the way insects are behaving that seem kind of odd, weather, so forth. So pagan or indigenous traditions communicated with nature in this way and understood that we are all connected into a web of life, a shared connectiveness, with the ability to communicate with each other. Science calls it the unified field, and a lot of other people may know it as maybe the collective consciousness. You will get many practitioners that will warn that signs, messages, and omens are extremely rare, and we're usually looking into things too much. On the contrary, besides for actual omens, which we're going to get into the difference between a sign or an omen or a message, I feel like awareness of within as well as without, and reconnecting to that unified web of life to open ourselves up to the universe and to nature communicating with us is important on our paths that we walk on in our spiritual journey. That we should in fact be open to these things. So for an example. If you saw that raven follow you on a walk to the store, and when you go inside the store, it lands on the fence outside the door, and it just sits there until you come out. And you notice it when you come out, still sitting there, kind of staring at you, odd behavior, croaking at you. And then you talk to it, and it listens. And then as you walk away, it follows. I use that as an example because that recently happened to me, and I believe it was a message kind of letting me know, hey, you're going to be facing some battles here, but you'll get over it. You know, you will persevere. I can get into that story a bit more in depth another time, but I did want to use that kind of as an example. But it's that kind of behavior that is significant to you, and it makes you question, well, is that like, or is that in my mind? But in my experience, things that significant, chances are it was an omen, sign, or a message. Now, I do from my own experiences believe signs not to be such a rare occurrence. If you just look around and listen, the universe is talking to you constantly, guiding you. Doing this daily allows us to be present in the moment and face our reality through the signs that we get. They can signify our awakening or spiritual changes or shifts within us spiritually as well, or to help us know that we have important choices to make coming up that may have to do with destiny or fate, or if you believe in that, you know, or battles coming up. The controversy about signs and omens is heated in witch communities, but I find it weird that some will discredit others' experiences that they truly believe to be an omen or a sign, yet they'll practice other forms of divination. And the reason is because Spirit speaks to us in so many ways. So it's kind of weird to me, you know, that argument. Just in my opinion, you know, if you disagree, that's cool, but that's kind of how I feel about it. And nature has many spirits, so of course we're going to receive these things in our life. If we're connected to it and you truly believe that, then of course. Now, it is important to have some logical skepticism, but I disagree that all these things are just a very rare occurrence, and like 9 times out of 10, if you think it was a sign, then it wasn't. I don't agree with that, but we'll get into that further. In my experience, after opening myself up to these things, I get a message clearly, whether I ask for it or not, or a sign, quite commonly as well, almost daily, almost. And know that if you're questioning it, like if I am unsure that something was a sign or a message from the universe or a deity, I will ask the universe or the deity that I'm questioning, or even the creature that I feel is trying to reveal this message to me, I will ask for another sign following that one if it in fact was a sign for me. And not all the time, but usually I will receive that validation that it in fact was. I think it's that ask and you shall receive type of thing. Now, the difference between a omen and a sign and a message. So an omen, as mentioned earlier, happens spontaneously, and these are the rare occurrences. They're not asked for, so it's not like you're looking for the sign or you asked for it from anybody or any spirit. And they'll just kind of show up and like life bomb you. Like, here I am. And they tend to be a bit more bizarre than a sign or a message. These are the more far and in between. than what a sign or message would be. Usually mysterious and signifies ominous, important, or an event in the future or a prophecy. And it's kind of letting you know, hey, this is about to occur. So my most recent has probably come to me in dreams and then through the Raven story I told you about. So a sign usually is more common in my experience and will appear in your life when you are facing difficulty, battles, choices, or even to evaluate ourselves or our path that we're on. Or they can symbolize other things coming your way or to your path, or a shift or a change in your path. And also you can ask for these. You can ask for a sign from spirits or a deity or the universe, whichever you prefer. If you want answers to something and you ask for a sign and you're open to be more receptive to receive what's around you, more than likely you will get it. And almost daily, I mean, I think it really depends on the person and what they're open to. Now, messages is a sign or an omen that can come in various forms: numerology, synchronicities, animals, dreams, divination, in all kinds of forms. And there are many forms of divination as well. But in my experience, even though they can still be cryptic, they're a bit less cryptic than a sign or an omen. It's like the universe or the spirit or the animal is kind of telling me straight to the point, hey, you need to know this, I'm letting you know this, or I'm telling you this. Kind of, this is what it is type of thing, and what you're going to do about it. So this can be in dreams, thoughts, or whispers. Thoughts that usually I know aren't my own is how I'll receive these, or I'll have it whispered to me or even come to me in a dream. Now, signs from a deity. This is probably the more wider controversial one and most widespread question in the witchcraft community coming from newer practitioners. And you're going to get different viewpoints about this, but this is mine. So a few factors, in my opinion, play into this, such as I would ask you, have you already made contact or attempted to connect with the deity you believe may be trying to contact you? Usually we'll initiate contact or that relationship or that link before we receive feedback from a deity, like making an altar, pictures around your house or symbols of them, or research even can open that door. I can't tell you how many times I was pulled to research a demon or a deity, and then they would appear in certain ways. But it doesn't always happen this way either. It's not always the case. I just find in most cases it's easier to rule out by asking that question, and a few others, because it really does depend. But also, I wanted to add, when it comes to deities, in my opinion, only in my experience, guys, usually the signs will come in threes. Like in a single day or in a single week. Like close together, the signs will come in threes. And they will all collectively associate with that deity. But many can also experience that differently. This is why self-doubt can hinder your awareness in your own spiritual path or journey. So, is it real or our imagination? My answer to that is, if our thoughts and visualization skills, can create, and they have a huge role in our spellcraft or witchcraft, then I say it's real, regardless. Because imagination creates and manifests every object around us. The phone I'm using now, my glasses, my clothes, the house we build, music we create, art. It was all our imagination at one point, and we brought it to life, right? So many times through my path, no matter how experienced you get, I think we're all going to question, wow, was that real or was that in my head? And a lot of times, I fear telling people about some of it because they look at you like you're freaking insane. But I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. But, so as I advanced in my practice, I kind of stopped battling that because now I kind of realize that it doesn't matter, in my opinion, if it is uh, imagination or did that really happen or did it come from my psyche. It's all real to me, and that's what matters. And it all has its benefits in guiding and helping me on my path, and even in life and coping in my own reality. It is easier to dismiss rather than to accept certain things, but it's also logical to question things as well. So, what is chaos for the fly is normal for the spider. One of my favorite sayings, one of my favorite quotes, because it's so true. My recommendation to help with this is to keep a honest journal of the things that you feel are omens, signs, or calls from a deity. And over the course of a few weeks, as you're documenting them, go back and try to see the bigger picture that you believe these signs or omens has led or guided you to. If you've seen progression, chances are they were actual signs or messages you received, or even an omen to help lead you to where you were. Or you can determine also, once revealed, either A, holy shit, it's real, it led me from point A to F, or B, man, nothing really came out of it, so okay, maybe it was nothing. And I think that journaling that could help you with that question or whatever you're struggling with, like, is it real or is it not? Then there is the saying, you know when you know. So, I mean, if I was to put this video in the shortest answer possible, I would just say that you know when you know. Your intuition or your higher self will not lead you astray. I truly believe that. But of course, I would never make a video that short, and I thought it would be a neat topic to explore and kind of elaborate on. And I hope you enjoyed this, even if our perspectives are different when it comes to this. I respect that, but I'm welcome to my own thoughts or how I perceive my own experiences as well. So I hope this helps somebody that is questioning it. And yeah, so let me know how you like this. And I will see you guys next time.